Signs everywhere, signs for your business and signs for your ride. SignBro's is the place where we make your signs.
Hello. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. We're actually short Ike today, but he will be in a little bit later on. We want to thank our guest Victoria Hahn from coming in from Get Your Buzz On podcast, along with other things. BundleBee Insurance. Yes. So thanks
and
for
Mosquito
joining us.
Authority as well too.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know that. I've seen that.
Yeah, and El Paso in Tampa too.
Oh, really? In Tampa?
Yeah.
You got some business in Tampa?
We got business in Tampa.
How did that happen?
Well, you know what? It started with my mom. She had this autoimmune disease that was going on, and so she didn't realize that mosquito, because she's actually the owner of it, she didn't realize that mosquitoes cause so many diseases. They actually kill more than sharks do. And actually more than the coronavirus and everything, and people don't realize that.
Wow.
And so they got interested in it, and so her and my dad were like, you know what, we're going to buy the area in Tampa and buy the area in El Paso, and we've had, I believe it's 3 years now. It just seems like it goes so fast, but
But why Tampa though? I mean,
I think because they're like rats there. So it was just a good business move for them to buy that area. So they're always traveling. I'm always here, but they're always the ones that go out there and
But you guys have like family over there or something?
No.
it's just mosquitoes.
Yeah. Just do the business. Yeah, it's like so random. That's what I tell people when. I totally threw you off. But that's what I tell people. I'm like, I'm in it. Whatever we can do to make a living, I will do. So I'm like, if it's selling toilets, I will do that too.
Yeah, selling toilet paper these days, apparently.
Well, and I think too, because in Tampa, the basic price of a home there without getting anything, you're starting off at like $350,000. So it's a different type of market out there too, because it's more of like a luxury to say, hey, I don't want mosquitoes, let's pay to have the backyard sprayed. So yeah, it's funny.
It's a nice tourist attraction, mosquitoes. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I see you guys. There's a lot of vehicles with.
Yeah.
I see them like all the time.
Yeah,
Mosquito
we have
Authority.
all the pink signs. That's us.
Wow.
Okay, so that's you guys.
Yeah.
Very good. And you also have BundleBee.
BundleBee, yeah. And we're a brokerage for insurance. So we had a farmer's agency for 40 years. The largest one in West Texas. We sold that one because rates were just going up substantially with farmers. And we were losing clients. We had it with 3 generation because they're like, we love you guys. We just can't afford to keep up with the rates pricing going up. And with insurance, there's no rhyme or reason why rates going up. A lot of times what they do is they'll say, hey, we want a certain appetite, the rates will be low, and then once it comes to renewal, the rates will go up. So we were like, you know what? We need options, just like the insurance, everyone has options. So what we do is we have 80 different home and auto insurance companies in Texas and in New Mexico, and then we shop the rate for you. So for everyone, because that's my thing too, when people go online to shop insurance, unless you're knowledgeable about it, you don't know exactly what coverages you need or anything like that. So now with us, we help them with doing the shopping for them, and we shoot a resume and have the insurance companies fight out the business for them. Yeah. And if it goes up, we reshop it, but we always keep the client. So that's what makes them happy too, because it doesn't matter who they choose as long as they're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And that's also family business.
Yeah, we are a family business. We try not to kill each other.
Yeah.
Very good. So you got the mosquitoes, the bees, BundleBee, which leads you into the podcast. Tell us about your podcast.
Yes. Get Your Buzz On started this year. Last year, I had gone on a podcast with Manny Carrera. He's awesome. He's a realtor out here, and he has a podcast called Whiskey Wednesday. So when I got on that podcast, I was like, you know what? I really want to do this. But I'm just kind of scared to be on the videos and like talking. No one is gonna want to hear me. And he's like, Victoria, just do it. Like, just do it. You're gonna be fine and everything. So actually, he was my first guest because I was like, if I sucked, then he would be okay with like me being on. He'd be like, okay, I know how it goes. So, and so now it's just gotten picked up with realtors and lenders, and now we're getting different businesses involved, and then we're working on a rap video that we're shooting this week and next week. So
nice.
We're having a lot of fun with it because insurance is boring. I have to make it fun for people to want to to want to listen.
And elaborate more on the buzz part, the get your buzz on part.
Get your buzz on.
Yeah.
We have a whatever we want to drink at the beginning of the show, and sometimes we do get buzzed. And one of them, me and Daisy had gotten buzzed at one point towards the end. We were talking for 3 hours, and our camera guy was like, "Okay, that's it.
That's enough, guys. You guys are talking about
because I never
eat
before because I'm like worried that my stomach because. If you guys don't know that the mic picks up every sound, so I'm like, if I eat and then I start drinking and then my stomach starts making noises, I don't need that. So that's why I never drink. But then it also gets me. I'm like, towards the end of it, I'm like, okay, we need to get something to eat.
Yeah. I was going through my Facebook page and my Facebook feed, and I just so happened to bump into it.
Oh, okay.
Like it just like somebody shared it, and it's like a podcast. Okay, I know there's people here in El Paso that have podcasts.
Yeah.
Not very many, so I think we need to help each other out.
Yeah, I'm totally.
Absolutely.
Totally
so that's why I said let's see if she can get her on. And you're super cool. You answer really quick, and here we go.
Set up very quick. Yeah.
I'm always available. I'm like whatever everyone needs. Because that's the salesperson in me, and then when you're having a family business, you're constantly having to promote and do whatever you need to do. So I'm always like, okay, let's do it. Let's go.
It.
I'm always
it's
down
hard to say no.
Exactly. That's my problem. It's very hard to say no.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And your parents too, since they have been in business for a while, I take it then.
Yeah, they've been they had the farmers agent 34 years, and now we just did BundleBee. So this is our first year and a half doing transitioning to the brokerage. So and you know what the great part about that was, before when I first started, you have to ask permission with the franchise with everything. It's like I couldn't just do a podcast. I couldn't just post any banners out without their permission, because what we did was we actually
whose permission? Sorry.
Farmers.
Okay.
Farmers.
Okay.
And so we started doing was we did our own logo called BundleBee Insurance Agency, and I did that because I was like, why are we advertising? You throw a rock and there's a farmer's agent. I don't want to advertise for them. And so that was always a push and pull, because I'm more like I ask for forgiveness than permission. Mm-hmm. So now with BundleBee, I can do whatever, and it makes it so much easier because like all my ideas and everything that with the podcast and stuff, I'm not having to think, okay, what's somebody going to say? Just do it.
Yeah. So they had approved the podcast.
I'm sorry.
They had approved the podcast.
They had to approve the podcast.
And they approved the concept of.
Well, at that point, I hadn't even had brought that out, but they had to prove like images and stuff. So I was like, it just takes forever. So that's why I just did stuff, and then I'd be like, oh, sorry.
How was that transition? You said your parents owned farmers for 34 years.
Yes.
So that's probably their party already nice and stable, and they already had everything going. How was it for them to transition to let's try something new and different?
Well, it was hard. Because we had the largest ones. So I think to start all over again and to do that was very hard, because we sold it. Was very hard to get that concept, but I think they understood it. Now in business, you constantly have to be changing. It's not the way it used to be. And so that's the good part about my parents, too, is they understand, like, hey, this model isn't working. We have to do what's going to work for everyone else. And I think it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And now I think we've had so much of a great response from our realtors and our people that we've had and our clients that we've had. They're like, they're excited because now we're giving them the best rate we can.
Yeah. Well, my question was leading into that transition of the technology.
Yeah.
From your parents to what was back in the day? They did yellow pages, white pages, and how do they feel about this whole social media thing?
Well, when I first came back, because I've been doing it now almost 10 years. My dad had this huge yellow page ad, and at the time it wasn't cheap at all.
No.
And he had all the bench ads. So I remember I was like, Dad, I'm like, there's this thing called Facebook. I don't know if you know, and to this day he's still not on it, so he doesn't understand. I'm like, there's this thing called Facebook. Why don't we use that same amount of money and just do like a lot of Facebook ads and spend it on social media and stuff, and spend it on realtors and spend it on different things. And at the time, it was like that first year we would always, because we have similar personalities, so it would always be like WWF. But now, after about a year, he got into it. Now he understands the method to the madness. So he's just like, okay. So when we said the podcast, he was like, all right. And his question is, well, how much is it going to be? Well, how much is this going to be?
How much is that bottle of scotch you're going to be drinking?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always having to ride the fence with that stuff. He's always like, yeah, you're okay as long as you're spending money.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Poor Justin.
I know. That's what he says too. He's like, he got rid of my biggest liability.
Justin being your husband, which is a friend of Nathan's, right?
Yeah.
Well, we
know
met.
each other.
We met up one time.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Real cool guy.
He's all right.
Had a good time.
Wow. And how many shows have you done already so far?
I am on episode 9 that airs today, actually. Episode 9, we're just, like I said, getting going with it. So we're on episode 9 and just continuing to keep up with it. Because that's the whole thing is just the consistency of making sure you stay on top of your guests and stay on top of who you have on and your schedule and everything, on top of the work stuff too. Yeah. So it's a whole thing in itself.
So right now you're kind of just focusing on the whole real estate genre type of thing?
Well, I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything. Not putting all my eggs in one basket, just kind of saying, hey, we'll focus on like different HOAs or realtors or lenders or and then different cities too, because we were able to represent all of Texas. So we actually are working with builders in Houston and Austin and San Antonio and stuff. So that's my whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Round one.
I'm like, sorry. Round sorry.
Round 2. Drinks.
But yeah, we're just focusing on different areas, because what I tell a lot, anyone that's buying a home and looking for home insurance, just so everyone knows, El Paso has the cheapest home insurance in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everywhere else, Austin, Dallas, Houston, they're paying like $3,000 to $5,000 a year on insurance. Plus,
wow.
A lot of them, especially Houston, have floods,
yeah,
so they have to spend on the flood insurance.
Yeah.
So we're spoiled out here.
Yeah, but I remember a few years back when it rained really bad and it got it flooded out like towards like Vinton area.
Yes.
And like nobody had flood insurance.
Yeah.
Because it just was like, I mean, it's not gonna flood in El Paso, and it flooded.
Oh yeah, that was that. I know it was a while ago.
It was a while. I'd say 10 years, something like that. Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was like cars halfway covered in sand. Oh yeah.
Like a weekend thing or a one day thing, or just came and hit hard?
It just came down.
I felt like it was like a month of just pure rain.
Wow.
And then the people that didn't have flood insurance, because water from the inside coming out is covered, not covered from the outside in on regular home insurance. That's flood insurance. So that's what I tell people too. I'm like, I know, and to this day they still don't realize it, but I'm like, look at when it rains, whenever it does, and see if it builds up in your area, because you never know here. The weather's so crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Very.
And you went to school here in El Paso?
I went to school. I went to high school at Radford. And then I graduated and went to school at St. Mary's College in Notre Dame, Indiana. Nice. And so I went there. I had a lot of fun there, and I got my political science degree because I was supposed to go to law school.
Supposed to.
Yeah. So, and I did a semester out in Washington, D.C. I had so much fun out there.
Wow.
I was going to, like I said, I wanted to change the world with that stuff. And then I realized that I cost a lot. So it changed. So my priorities changed a little bit.
The world changed you.
Yeah. I think when you're in college and you're living off your parents' dime, you're very idealistic. And then once you start, being more independent and Uncle Sam comes in, you're like, oh, okay, well, so how much is all this stuff going to cost me? Yeah. And health insurance and all that stuff. So I think I realized at the time when I started doing that, and then I got into the sports realm. I worked for sports teams for a while. And then also with that was another that I learned so much with that business, because what people don't realize is it's fun. Sports are a lot of fun, but the people behind the scenes that are trying to fill up those seats that are working 24/7, that you're having to market, you're the first one there and the last one to leave. And a lot of times when you're working for those teams, it's always the teams that aren't doing so well. So
like double time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like now the Nationals won the freaking what is it? The
World Series.
Yeah, World Series. Hello.
Was it
this year?
Was it this year?
Yeah,
the Nationals?
The Nationals in D.C. And so I remember when I was first starting they were like needing so many people to work there to get people, because no one's from, there's only like in Phoenix too that I lived, no one's actually from that area. Like you have people that come from Boston or like the cold areas that go to Phoenix, and the same thing for DC. So it's hard to build a fan base because they already have.
Sure.
They're like I'm a big Red Sox fan.
They're all loyal to their teams.
Yeah. So, but when they'd come into town, they would sell out the tickets and stuff. So, it definitely showed a different side of it too. Because I was like, well, I work for sports teams. I'll do what I really want to do is be involved in that. And it was a great experience, and I'm very glad I did it. But I did learn a lot too with it as well.
So you did Nationals, and who else? Any other teams did you work with?
The Diamondbacks and the Oakland A's.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then when I had actually was going to move to San Antonio to work for the Spurs, and then I met my husband during that time. So if it wouldn't have been for him, I could have gone to the top.
Well, I'm surprised that he didn't go to San Antonio.
I know.
Yeah.
No.
I'd been like, no, we're going to San Antonio.
Well, he had met me when I was here, because I had taken some time off when I came here to spend some time with my family, because at the time it was like I hadn't been home for like 10. I'd been home, but not really home that long, besides like holidays and stuff. So my parents were like, well, can you come spend time with us before you make this other transition? And because we really miss you. And during that time, I met him, and that's when it kind of like I said, he messed up my plans.
Gotcha. And he's an El Paso guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And so, but yeah, we met on a blind date, and then it was just we just clicked really well. And the funny part is that we lived 5 blocks away from each other.
Wow.
Never met, because he's way older than I am as well, too.
Ah, gotcha.
He's only 5 years, but still way older.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
But I never met him in high school or any of that stuff. So it's just funny how it all works out the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Can you give a little bit more details on that sports stuff?
Oh yeah.
I'm excited.
What I did was like the marketing and sales. Mm-hmm. So what people don't realize is when you're doing like season tickets and all that stuff, you have to make so many phone calls. I think I would make up to 100 phone calls a day.
Wow.
With different businesses.
Trying to get sponsors
and then get them to come in the suites and everything. So be nice to anyone that calls you from the Chihuahuas, because it's a lot of work to just contact everyone and stay on top of everyone. So it'd be contacting them and then bringing them out, showing them the field, giving them the tours, and then also meeting up with them during games and everything. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun because you'd be able to be at every game, and during home games, day games, it was nice because like you'd have lunch and you'd be able to watch baseball during the day and stuff. So it was a really good time. And the thing is that when you're working in that field, a lot of the jobs that are open are more basketball and baseball because they have so many games. So that's the thing, is that they have 82 home games. So you're the first one there, the last one to leave, and it's a long season, especially if your team's not doing well. And once it gets to midseason, people are like,
that's when you can tell if the team's good or not.
People are like, well, I don't like the Diamondbacks suck this year.
So which means you have to do even more promotions.
Exactly.
Did you do promotions as well?
Well, just the marketing and sales. That's all. I wasn't a promo girl or anything like that.
You're the genius behind the 25-cent hot dog night and stuff like that.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay.
I would promote that, but that was not me that came up with any of that promotion stuff.
Gotcha.
But it was definitely, I think when you're in those fields, you want to, the goal is to end up in football, because football, you don't have as many home games, and then also like more people are going to go out to football games because it's not as long. More it goes to both the guys and girls that want to be in it, and it's just a fun atmosphere. So that was when, at the time when I was working, I'm not trying to age myself, that's when like the Dallas Cowboy Stadium had come up and stuff. So that was like my ultimate goal, was to work for Dallas and do that stuff. But I didn't get to that point.
Wow. So what pulled you back into the family business, or were you always a part of it and left and came back? Or
well,
you never
I used to work there forever in high school, and I'd been around insurance my whole life. And then I said once I went to college, I was like, I'm never gonna come back to El Paso. I'm never gonna do insurance, get married. Everything I said I was never gonna do, I totally did it. So it was nice though, because I feel like with anyone, it's good to get out of El Paso to appreciate what you have here.
I believe that too.
Yeah, because I was like in San Francisco, where the cost of living, I lived with 3 roommates, and it was my rent was more than my mortgages.
Wow. Yeah.
And then
your third part or your fourth part of it was more
than my mortgage.
Now.
Wow. Yeah, and then you have to pay a parking fee, which is another $250. And then every time you pass the bridge, because I worked in Oakland, so I'd pass that bridge every day. It was $5 every day.
Every day,
$250.
Golly.
So that's what I tell people. I'm like, at the time I didn't care because you're partying and having fun and you're doing what you have to do, but at the time, now I look back and I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah, I work for the Oakland A's, so I can pay $5.
I was like, I'm like, that's fine, I'll do it. But at the time, so everything is a great experience though, and I think when you're young, you need to do all that stuff because you don't have kids or have responsibilities or have that stuff, and then once you start getting older, you start realizing what you want or what's going to make you happy in that area.
Gotcha.
And money makes me happy, so I do whatever I do whatever it has to take.
Gotcha.
So then when I came back, that's when I was like, well, I guess I'm going to be back in the family business. And I said I wanted to do more fun things instead of like boring insurance stuff. So that's what brought me into just changing it up with like the way we do business and the way we deal with a lot of our affiliate partners.
Gotcha. Interesting. And what are your plans as far as the podcast? How far do you want to take it?
Hopefully, like, I want to continue it forever. That's my whole thing, as long as people will listen.
Yeah,
I'm like, as long as people will listen.
Sure.
My end goal is to, like, not my end goal, because I'm always trying to get it, but my goal would be to be on Ellen. I would really like that.
Hey, let's make it happen.
Yeah,
let's make
it happen. I want to do a dance with her. Come on now. So those are my goals, and I feel like if you visualize it, and it's like the law of attraction that you have to throw it out there and constantly get the grind.
Gotcha. Yeah. And your guests, do you pick them out, or do they call you? Can the guests call you up and say, "Hey, I want to be in the show"? Or
they are able to call me up at our office at 915-591-0075. You can also get quotes for home and auto. They're just throwing that out there, or mosquito spray, another thing. So it's getting summer. It's that time. Or you're able to email me. My social media, I'm always available. So, like, as you guys know, anyone's able to be on. I'm always interested to see different businesses and see different people.
Yeah. Well, I think you have the perfect personality for
Thanks.
it. I mean, I'm sure you're probably better off seeing it on YouTube or Facebook than just listening to it.
Yeah.
You're very expressive.
I am expressive.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
My favorite one, I watched Daisy. I like that one with Daisy.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good.
I was like, that was definitely the one where we both got toasted. So,
what did you guys drink?
We drank a bottle of champagne, and I always do champagne because if I'm going to a model home, because it's a moving podcast, so we go wherever the realtor
behind the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. So we go wherever they want to go, and so I never know if they're gonna have ice or they're gonna have cups or whatever. So it's just easier when I do the champagne. So I'm like, okay, it's just
straight from the bottle, or did you take glasses?
I'm like, I'm not that ghetto, but I can be if it needs to be. Don't
Behind
worry.
the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. Behind the cameras, I'll do my teeth, like open the bottle, do whatever it takes. But on camera, I look legit.
No, it's very entertaining.
Thank you.
Very informative. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really cool.
Yeah. Well, Ike didn't show up. Thanks for the coffee, Ike.
Snooze, you lose, Ike.
Yeah. So, but go ahead and wind it up. Thanks for joining us.
Anything else we need to know about? Shout out. We know we'll put all the information, Facebook, all stuff on the screen.
All my social media is Queen. It's Queen_BTX. So I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. What else is it? Twitter. Everything. LinkedIn. So you're always able to get a hold of me if you want quotes or you want to be on the podcast or just anything in general. Any marketing options, I'm open to everything.
Awesome. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and until next time.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thanks.
SignBro's is the place where we make you sign.